See, regular meeting, Board of Trustees for November 8th, 2023. Begin the meeting with a roll call to Trustee Hartley McIntosh, Trustee Neil Gaynor, Trustee Kyle Nuttys, Trustee, excuse me.
Yeah.
Trustee Smith,
Here.
Trustee Connett,
Here.
Trustee Bob Lux is here, and Trustee Paul is here. Very good, thank you. Okay, we will begin with our invocation and pledges of allegiance. Heavenly Father, we come to you today as an assembled body. We humbly request that you bless our meeting, our community, and our nation. Help us to work diligently, always for the common good and in the best interest of those we have been elected to represent. Guide us to be insightful and prudent in our intentions, visions, plans, deliberations, decisions, and their fulfillment. Work through us to provide a spirit of welcome to all in attendance, to engage in respectful and thoughtful dialogue and discussion with understanding, wisdom, and humility. Amen. If you wish, prior to reciting the pledges of allegiance, please take an additional moment of silent prayer or additional reflection in the manner of your preference. Thank you. Pledges of allegiance, pledge to the United States. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Okay. Go to agenda item 3, comments from the public, and we have Mr. Maggart. Good evening, Mr. Maggart. Nice to see you. If you would please limit your comments to 3 minutes thereabouts, appreciate it. Thank you.
To everybody here tonight was at the presentation over at the wastewater treatment plant a couple of weeks ago. And I just want to try to put a couple of questions in mind that came to mind. It's number one, is they decided now that the new plant, proposed plant is $4 billion. They're going to come up with a financing plan. And I think I only have to got that per charge 60 cents a thousand. And your process is so most of you that you figure out how much revenue you generate in the morning can also how much that is, which I've done. So made a back of the calculation, and that's $4 billion. We're going to have to increase that fee from $60 to about 13 or 14. So when you get that number's not the same, then I now the one thing they're going to do, they'll probably try to take that $6 million a day plan or $7 million a day plan, and assuming that the plant's going to process 7 million gallons a day. Well, that's not going to happen. It's processed 3 million gallons a day for 15 years, and it's not going any higher. But that's what you use, or history tells you that that's not right. And explain to you why it's not going to happen in a later time. But anyway, that's one question. Second question I got, it's amazing how this new plant, the processing facilities are gonna be 150 feet from the back fence of the folks over in the Red Cedar Circle area. And the administration building, and the maintenance facility is going to be out. So now I wonder how that happened. For all you folks that remember doctors who is really is the reason started this in the first place. Third thing is I've been here since day one. I came to the grand opening month, been a resident for 7 years. A couple of months about the same time as the wastewater treatment. Had a non and down there on it. And the school and years old and start over and go over very big. Anyway, you're looking at $250,000 that some people have to. You got $1 billion surface water plant. 30 or 40 cents. What our treatment. Last thing is they have just man, the proposed cost. Well, somebody needs to tell me how to understand that at $60. And terrible. Well, I know inflation is pretty bad, but I can assure you, you can find an engineering company that can get less than $250,000. Hopefully, you will all take another before this gets too far. And the whole plan, furnish it, save taxpayers a hell of a lot of money. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, move now to items 5 and 6 on the agenda, the consent. agenda. Pages 13 of our meeting packets. Are there any questions, comments, sir? Trustee Gainer?
Question. Under eight. Very board directors received a letter from the Ace Alliance. And it was on planning that. I call correctly. It was Mr. Packerford and Ms. Ramsey's book. That with represents this application. Then continuing on, next page, top, page 3. Says there are 2 failed dates, and it's typos in the trial. It's not quite clear who they are. I could give us parties to litigation. That's the right phrasing. Our counsel. On that. Which page is this? Page 3 at the top. It's referencing the Supreme Court case.
Last paragraph, number 8.
The lawsuit. All right. On page 3.
Discussion.
On January 9th.
Item A,
They-
last. Who's presenting? This is the River Story. River Authority attorneys present all this.
Okay, so that, didn't clarify, well, what else on the other side? But yeah, this is just in relation to SJRA attorneys. Yes. Okay. That's all.
Further questions or comments? Motion to approve, please.
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Gainer, motion to approve, second. Second, trustee Price. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
Same.
Abstained, trustee Martin. Motion passes. Now move to agenda item number 7. We will receive the monthly regular report from the SJRA Woodlands Division. Mr. Meeks, good evening.
Things tonight, mostly just updates, nothing groundbreaking. Consider that December 4th is the next all director meeting. This is on the strategic plan. It is the last meeting with everybody that we have planned. So December 4th, 5 to 7, Woodlands Division office, just like last time. Same setup, same format, if you will. So dinner 5 to 5:30, presentation 5:30 to 7:30. Hopefully, our off 7:30 to 8. Next item is in your packet on page 14 is the beginning of our monthly operations report. Last month I talked about a change in the graph. This is the change that we talked about. This is actually 3 directors' input that we put together and kind of merged together. So you will see a change when it goes into the mud packets next week. This gray line that you can barely see didn't copy over well, so you change that to a bolder color so you can see it. But what you have is when you're looking at this graph, the bottom lines are going to be the dotted lines on the bottom is last year's production of groundwater and surface water delivery. Okay. Then you see the dots and the solid lines around the dotted lines. That's the production from this year. So you can compare this year to last year. Above that, what you'll see is that yellow line that goes across kind of jagged. That is the planned groundwater production. So we shoot for a 50-50 annual average, plus or minus 5%, 10%. But throughout the year, we don't stay at 50% based on the seasons. So this is our rough guess of what we put in the budget. So you go sometimes 45%, sometimes 55%, but overall, you shoot for 50%. So you see the groundwater blend, but you also see over there the 2 lines that you see, the blue and the orange. That's the actual percentage of surface water and groundwater being delivered. There's a lot of information there, but once you get it, I think it's actually pretty useful. So, I appreciate those that did add the information to help us get to this point. The rest of the report has not really been too many changes. Just add this on page 15 underneath the water loss. We did receive some comments from a couple of directors about, okay, what is your plan number? I see that you're doing, water loss this month, 4.8, but what was your budget based off of? So we've added the budget amount below that. Water loss is planned at 5.5%. We're currently at 4.8%. We knew we're going into, we're actually around 4.5 to 5, but a little bit of fluff in there just in case. So we do have some additional changes coming up. I'll just give you an FYI. We're still accepting anything that you want to add or change. But I don't know about y'all, but page 18, this project sheet is getting longer and it's getting smaller. So this is going to be broken up into water and wastewater, and then both of them can probably put over a couple pages so we can actually read. Any questions on the report? Yes, sir.
When you look at the second column, it says mud 6, that's an
Yes.
example. Does that mean that mud 6 is paying for all that, or is it just that that's when it was current?
That's where the work is occurring. We've had questions over time from various muds of what's this pipe, what's this, whatever it may be. So this just identifies wherever the project is. So if they see something, this is what it's for. We are also going in the forward. We're going to be putting project signs at certain locations and explaining what the project is. I'm sure you've seen it. It's paid for by ratepayers, and this is what the project is, and this is who you can contact. Any other questions?
Thanks for making those changes. That's really
Yeah,
helpful.
no, I appreciate the input because we stare at it every day, you know, the numbers, but if it's not useful to y'all, then.
I love the history. That's awesome.
The last thing I have, I passed out prior to the meeting, the single page that did not make it into the packet. But we'll do next week. This is something we started, 7 months ago. So y'all may recall, last year, we had a conversation about doing COVID testing, last year, year before, about doing COVID testing in the river of Gordon Payne. COVID testing is a very expensive test, takes a lot of time, effort, and everything else. So the trustee said, no, don't worry about it. Well, 7, 8 months ago or so, we got contacted by this engineering firm that was working at the bottom with this company, Verily. So Verily does testing. At that time, it was just COVID and I think monkeypox. I think they call it mpox now. And what they do is they send you the sample bottles, they send you the shipping labels, and they pay you to collect these samples. And it's set up in the, as you can see at the bottom, with this combination of different societies and so on. They pay for you to do this testing. And so we collect a sample, each of our facilities 3 times a week. So we have 9 samples that go, and they give us, doesn't say on here, but it's $1,350 a week is what they give us to do the sample. The information is sent to the county. So Montgomery County gets the information. Also, anybody in the public who wants to see it, there is this website down at the bottom, and you can go on there and it'll show you graphs just like what you have here. So as you're looking through this website, it'll have all these different monitored illnesses, COVID and the variants, RSV, norovirus, so on and so forth. And occasionally they add additional ones. And so we took it and said, okay, you're going to pay us to do something that the community, you know, some of the community wanted, and you're going to send it to the county for good information. So we've been doing this for 7 months. The revenue from this is other revenue, stays up the top of the budget. It's not earmarked or planned for anything. So at the end of the year, if, you know, all revenue hits, that's excess money that could come back to you. Passing along, we looked into it for a couple months before we started, got a win-win, following suit with like Houston and stuff like that. And if you go look on the map, we're the only one in this area that does it. I probably think we're the only one in Texas, if I remember the dots.
Was this an average of the 3 wastewater treatment facilities?
You know, that's a good point. This is actually just wastewater plant 1, I believe. So each one of those plants, when you go onto the map, you can click, there's over left, it says table and graphs, and you can actually select wastewater plants 1, 2, and 3. It's interesting to me because plant 3 has St. Luke's and some other hospitals on it. So you look at plant 3 and you expect it to be higher than everything else. It's not always higher. So, but it's interesting when you think about like the flu and stuff, as you see the different seasons, you'll see it at wastewater before you actually see the outbreaks. So good information we're getting paid to do.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Is
Yes,
it,
sir.
Is this a national program?
This is across the US, but there is only, I want to say,
No units.
50 to 60 people that are in it. It's not sponsored by EPA, no government agencies in it, but it's put on by Verily with backup from Stanford University.
that's a good question.
But it is across.
Is it a long-term contract or is it a monthly?
Good point. So it ends roughly at the end of 2024 at this point, because it's put on by donations. So as long as donations last, the program will still be in play. So if they end up with additional funds at the end of 24 and want to continue, I see no reason not to continue.
Well, just for the 3 samples per week. Quick calculation shows this just for Woodlands water, it's $143,000. So $1,350 a week times.
Yeah, on 52,
Okay.
yeah.
So they have to have a pretty sizable budget if this is a national program.
I agree, but they also limit the number of people that come in, and it's not everybody that wants to come in. So I think nationwide, I want to say there's 60 people. Just trying to remember the dots on the map. I want to say there's about 60 folk across the US. It's not like Conroe can't join, everybody just can't join. So they've limited based off of it.
So is this by invitation? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Because the firm that we work with called certain places in Texas and said, do you want to be a part of it? And we're the ones that said yes first, so we were one selected.
Excellent. Very good.
So for that reason,
Yes, sir.
the sampling points is works.
Yes, this is raw wastewater.
Okay.
They have 2 samples, just getting a little bit of details. You can either do liquid sample or you can do a solid sample. If you do the solid sample, it's a lot more labor on our side. And I think you make like $40, $50 extra, but it takes like 30 minutes to an hour per sample. So we said, we'll send you the liquid sample, you pay us a little bit more money, you can do.
What are the numbers on the vertical axis represent?
I think that's on the graph, actually.
Yeah, what are the
200,
units?
400, 600, 800?
I don't know.
That website, I bet you in the detail
Parts per
tab
million
and
or
show you.
billion or
Something like that. Thinking about the graph, because
And we don't know if it's good or bad.
Yeah.
that is all I have, unless y'all have anything.
Further questions for Mr. Meeks?
Back to the wastewater, when did you kick off that? The wastewater treatment plant, when did we kick it off?
Oh, goodness. We started initial conversations with the audit committee. I went there in 2018. Because at that point, we're talking long-term financing of AC water lines. And then roll everything together. The program itself, we started discussions in October of 19, I believe,
For the sewer plant?
the sewer plant.
For some reason, I think Greece's contract, the original one, was late 2021.
Because we had to come to this board to have the trustees approve the RFQ going out. The RFQ had to go out and we went back and forth. And so it was around 2020, beginning of 21, when the contract. Phase one was 14 months, phase two is about. Any other questions?
Gentlemen, say lady.
Very good, very good. Mr. Hildebrand, any need for any updates on Spring Creek or any of that, or it's status quo? Very good, thank you. Agenda item 8, receive the attorney's report. Mr. Yates, please.
Election occurred 13 out of the 14 propositions, including proposition 6. I know those information that went out passed the proposition for property tax. Property tax is passed as well. So see how that gets implemented.
Which one? Yeah, judge one.
The judge one,
Okay.
the increase in the age for retirement. Yeah. So a couple that close from 65, 45, but that's the only time.
Yeah.
All I have.
Very good. Thank you. Agenda item number 9. Mr. Peterson, consider an act on resolution honoring Jim Simpson.
Yes, I just mentioned to you previously that we would look at doing maybe a little public reception. My thoughts were that we would present him with kind of a framed presentation. And my thought is to include something like this. This is a draft that we've come up with. So I wanted to get it before y'all. One, to see if you like the idea, and 2, to get your feedback on any verbiage that you think could spruce it up. If you'd like, probably have a few days till we need to get it finalized and get it heading towards printing and framing and et cetera. But I would be willing to accept any input you would like to give.
Is that date set?
We're real close, real close.
Excellent wordsmith. I recommend approval. As written. So move.
We have a motion. We have a second.
A second.
Second. Discussion. I would personally, I would think, I'd like to review it myself, for maybe 24, 48 hours.
Yeah, absolutely, that'd be great.
I mean,
If you so.
that's my one person's opinion.
I second your opinion.
Yeah,
As you can see, I had it set up for mine and trustee president Lux to sign on behalf of all the members.
further discussion on the matter.
What's the deadline for any suggestions? Back to you.
Ideally by the end of the week.
What's the date for the reception or whatever?
I'll send that out soon. We're close.
What's really nice is it's on one sheet of paper.
That's a great idea, Eric. I think that's excellent. I love the idea.
So we have a motion, we have a second, we've had discussion. All in favor of approval of immediate, acceptance of the resolution as printed, signify by saying aye. Opposed?
Opposed.
So what do we have? 4 and 5, so the motion fails.
I suggest maybe an approval subject to
Exactly.
receiving those before Friday.
I'll amend my motion. Subject to suggestions not to exceed the date, on the Thursday. Hmm,
But we'll be out Friday, but we'll still accept.
Send business
we'll still
tomorrow.
accept everything
That's fair.
Friday.
We have an amended motion for the end of business, Thursday, November 9th, for approval, final approval.
Accept it through Friday.
Okay, through Friday, end of business on the 10th. Okay. Okay, we have an amended motion. I assume a second was also, and, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. The amended motion passes. Thank you. Let's see. Receive the general manager's report.
Yes, don't have anything significant. Just wanted to let you know that I did attend the Texas Water Conservation Association fall conference last week. And myself, David and Dan attended the AWWA waterline condition-based assessment training this Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this week. And so we just got back this afternoon from that. It was very informative. So I think there'll be more to come on that, what we learned. And then lastly, I just wanted to point out that on the Public Education Committee or Communications side, if you'll recall, last fall, about this time, we sent out a survey to the customers on a number of different questions. There was, I think, 14 or 16 questions last year. We've now again sent that out this week through the Woodlands Water Weekly, as well as on our website. We already have 450 responses just in a couple of days. So we think that's very, very positive. We'll run it and have more opportunities for 2 weeks, and then we'll collect that data here in about 2 weeks, a week and a half, and we'll identify, what it tells us, what we've been doing over the last year with the strategic communication plan, how fruitful that's been, how we're reaching customers to see, and then the Public Education Committee will see what we can gain from that information and adjust our strategy. So just want to update you on that as well.
And will Water Smart give it the answer to it? The correct answers. Who's going to furnish the correct answers? For example, when you're saying who controls something and you have Woodlands Water and the mud in the same selection, I want to know what the answer is. I know what I put down.
I will take that into consideration.
Yeah, just give us the answers to the questions.
Yeah.
No, that's all right. Sometime. I differ in your answer, that's all.
We mentioned this earlier. I hope that we're within bounds, Brian. There's no agenda item to discuss having a December meeting. Can that be discussed under the general manager's report?
The group.
That's
The need to have
that it would be appropriate, Brian, to have a vote or just a straw poll vote as to the potential need for a meeting.
I think you just get feedback to Aaron, calls out the need for a December trustee meeting.
Okay.
And then, to the extent that The trustees believe that there's not one that's by default necessary.
So you'd prefer that that be done independently to Eric or something we could do right now? Oh, okay, thank you.
We're not taking any action. At the end of the day, it'll be Eric who has the authority to post an agenda on behalf of the trustees as to whether or not.
Thank you.
At the moment, I don't foresee any immediate or heavy topic that we absolutely have to hit in December.
Can we have a voice vote or about the need or concern?
A question, we have this all directors meeting on December 4th. Would there be any reason to have a meeting to follow up and discuss that? I'm asking. I don't see one, but some people might have.
And just to add to that, it looks like there's going to be a PEC meeting that day as well on the 13th, the trustee day. Not that that necessarily matters.
What kind of meeting?
A PEC meeting, public education committee meeting.
Neil, was that cast in stone? I thought that was a suggestion.
No, we decided to do that.
If needed, yeah.
Okay. If needed.
I believe
I think we said yes.
Yeah.
So always, I think is going to commit to having a discussion with us, and that might be worthwhile sharing.
that's why.
No, I meant next
Well, I think that those two issues cast a serious light on holding a meeting. Those two updates. That's my opinion. That's what I'll communicate. Anybody care to agree or disagree with that?
I agree.
Yeah. All for it.
The December 4th report, I believe, is that a final report? Chris, is that?
So the December 4th meeting is just presenting information, figures, charts on the rate impacts. The draft and final report for the phase 2 of the wastewater strategic plan, that won't be coming until like January timeframe. So it is our, like Chris mentioned, that is our kind of last plan touch point for a presentation to all MUD directors. Then after that, we plan to take up additional discussions in the trustee meetings and individual MUD meetings.
Any further discussion on that? All in favor of holding pressing the need for a board of trustees meeting on the December date?
Kind of a show of.
Yeah, I guess show of interest.
Oh, this has nothing to do with other modes.
No.
Each might make its own.
Yeah. What do you think, guys? Yes, no? Maybe.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay. Ad hoc committee meetings, personnel committee did not meet. No report. Audit and finance committee did not meet. No report. Public education committee did meet. And trustee Gaynor, please.
Yes, we meet today. As General just mentioned, we discussed the status of the second customer survey. So more importantly, we had a quite extensive discussion about integrating messaging communications with SJRAs, the consultant Holloway, the Woodlands Township, and also Howard Hughes to ensure that a consistent some information goes out to the Woodlands residents. And one important note is that this messaging will be tied in with the 50th anniversary activities, and we will get more information next month from the township on this, as well as it was mentioned from Holloway, because they'll be having a 30. They've started their study at November 1st start date. To review information they have. We're going to come back in approximately 30 days. In other words, from December in time for the next meeting. The other important item, the committee members will review a draft of phase 2 communications plan and provide comments to more staff, primarily to be John Geiger, prior to our next meeting on December 13th. That's all I've got.
The coordination between all groups.
Yeah.
Is that meant for the 50th anniversary? That's the topic.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is, this isn't a surprise, but I was very excited and encouraged to hear that the township, SDRA, ourselves, and Howard Hughes are eager to work together to fold in messaging around, as the core is the 50-year birthday, but Howard Hughes and the township has very specific topics each month from here till October of next year. And the willingness to allow us to fold in some of the messaging that coincides with, not only the Woodlands turning 50, but the infrastructure turning 50. There's some valuable water data, if you will, that coincides with some of the messaging that they would like to provide as they go through their each month's topics.
You say water data, what do you mean by that?
What was kind of brought up today was for the month's plan subjects is healthcare. And so the idea is just kind of providing certain data around what is a typical water, single family use, what is a typical, not to name names on which hospital, which user, but just to kind of give historical data to the public to educate them and kind of on, what, how water's used, who's using water, how much, etc.
David, one of the months, they're going to talk about sustainability just in general in the Woodlands. And so water is clearly a key topic there of sustainability of our water resources, right? So it's a lot. I'm pretty excited about hitching our wagon to all, because they're going after a whole month, a whole year, something every month to talk about.
Exactly.
And water kind of seems to be in there everywhere.
And the phase 2 plan would need to be sufficiently flexible so that we can fold in our messaging into whatever monthly theme that the Woodlands is putting forward, sustainable healthcare, businesses, schools, education, governance, it's, a whole bunch of things.
Well, and you all have lived the implementation of the strategic plan, the additional communication that's been put out, the weekly, Woodlands Park Weekly, website additions, all those things you've seen change this year. We would love your input as well to the BEC, so that we can, as we're going through phase 2 or the second round of this, we can fine tune and improve. So any input that the trustees or the MUDs have, we appreciate it.
I love the idea of coordinating with the township and other entities. I think it's great and it's long overdue, and it's, compliments to the committee for getting that done.
Want to add one more thing. Some slight changes to the composition of the PEC. We did add Leanne Peterson, who's communications director in the township, to provide the township view and to help coordinate with them. And second is the appointment of Arthur Bredhoff, who is the Metro MUD director, to give us some more insight into, and also he's a member of Region H, some insight into planning, as well as some of the large users in the metro area. So those two didn't have representation. It's substantial, but certainly today, if today's meeting is any reflection, I think there's one final position that is being filled from time to time by a temporary individual from Howard Hughes. That needs to be fixed because Howard Hughes is part of the communications in coordination with the Woodlands and the rest of us. So I hope to see that rectified in by the next meeting. Anyway, we shall see how that works out. And certainly we have commitment from Woodlands Water to make outreach in that area. One thing I did forget to mention, all these monthly themes,
Woodlands Water make requests. If anyone has historical photos or similar things or any informational to share it with them, as we, there's going to be more rolling out. So it's going to be a perfect opportunity for participation. I'm used to. So. All right.
Thank you. Any further discussion for Mr. Gainer? If I failed to or do it earlier, forgive me. I received notice from Mr. Bradehoff and Director Trustee Gainer reminded me. Mr. Bradehoff said that there will be no Region H report tonight as no November meeting for Region H occurred. The next meeting is in December. I'm unsure of the exact date of that, whether it'll be before our meeting or after. So, but he will.
They usually meet early.
I just don't remember. Yeah. Okay. Any need to recess? We do. Oh, okay. We are going to recess to close session, please, to discuss personnel matters pursuant to 7.0 of the Texas Government Code.
Actually, maybe not for personnel, but two items on there for reasons to go into this.
Consultation with attorney. Okay, thank you.
I'm recording.